We should be live. So, welcome everybody. 0 viewers right now, but for anyone watching on replay, I guess we'll wait to do the stuff until the game pops up. But we are here for game 2 of the round of 8 of the Texas Mini Worlds between MatthewHT and Justin Desai. So, wait a few minutes and we'll get going on that.
Are you being streamed on the main Star Wars page or on your?
It's on mine, but I think Robbie set it up for the main page to host it too.
Yeah, I'm not. Should it be live? I'm not seeing it.
Yes, but maybe that's not working because he just set it up today and he might not have done it correctly. Is my stream live?
Just set it up today and
on my page? Should be. Yeah. So I guess it's not on the PC thing. We'll tell Robbie later.
I'll open them right now.
Oh man, we got 420 Dong 69 in the chat. That is you. What's up, man?
I do know that Justin said that he had a couple fantasy football drafts tonight.
I'm guessing that's why they moved it 2 hours later, because he had a couple scheduled for the exact same time as their game, and then this morning the game switched to 2 hours later. So I'm guessing he did his drafts a few hours ago and now is more free to concentrate on the Star Wars game.
I did my draft on Sunday night, and I feel pretty good about the team.
You happy?
Last year I was the highest scoring team in my league by like a lot actually, and I didn't even make the playoffs because I didn't have the worst defense in the league. Like people weren't, but I would have these like my low scoring weeks, and people would just like have their highest scoring weeks, like all the time. And so we instituted a new rule that the sixth team to make the playoffs would not be the sixth team with the highest record. It'd be of the team you find the 5 highest records, and then you'd find the team with the most points.
Most points. It's not one of those 5.
Yeah,
it's like an at-large bid.
Yeah, and I'm gonna my friend was joking is that I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna have the 6th best record, and I'm not gonna have the points. But I got Christian McCaffrey. That's the secret to doing really well in fantasy football. Got him as a keeper from last year.
Nice. How many do you keep?
You can keep up to 3. I kept 2. Kept him and the tight end from Baltimore.
Okay.
Who was like the 3rd or 4th highest scoring tight end. Didn't play all the games, and is actually expected to just do better this year, be more more of an integral part of the offense, which seems pretty nuts.
Do you just do one league?
Yeah, I'm in a league with a bunch of art historians. It's like some NYU art historian league that's like existed for like almost for over in a decade that I've somehow wound up in.
Cool.
Did you do a team? Did you do one this year?
No, I've never done fantasy football because I cannot
Really?
keep up with all the players. Like you say, the tight end from Baltimore, and I'm like, I keep up with the Seahawks, and that's it. And like I know a couple other random tight ends, like Kittle because he's great in our division on the Niners, but like I can't keep up with all the like it would take too much time to track who's injured, and it just so I do the stupid like pick a team who's gonna win, like a survival league where you pick one team, and if they win you're still in the next week, and then the next week you pick a team, and you can only pick each team once. So but if you pick a team and they lose, then you're out. So it's like a sudden death survival league, and then so I only have to pick one team a week to win, and then I do the pick'em league where you just pick all who you think's gonna win each game. No spread, just straight up. So on the Star Wars forums they have those two, and those take like 5 minutes a week. I can go in and be like, all right, these teams will win. All right, this one team will win. Done. But otherwise, fantasy seems like it would just take tons of time.
Football takes no time. Speaking as someone who did fantasy baseball and fantasy basketball, football you can put like 5 minutes a week into it if you want. And I did like 10 minutes of prep this year. And then my good friend, the person who got me connected to the league, he listens to podcasts, he reads like everything, and like towards the end, he's just like anybody he nominates, I'm gonna like outbid him for because he knows something that I don't, and I'm gonna trust that.
Okay. Looks like we got the game started. So let me load that up. Wrong window. I just made our faces giant and not the game. There we go.
Looks like we got CCT and Legend.
Yep.
This is the matchup I was expecting.
From Justin, you mean?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I knew what Matt was playing, and this is what I was guessing Justin would be playing.
All right.
Do you have a sense? So CCT's been very strongly performing as of late. Do you have a sense of how it does against Legend?
Yes. I have an opinion. Before we get into that, quick, this is Texas Mini World's top 8. This is game 2 between Justin Desai, who is the light side player at the bottom of your screen, playing the Legend objective, and MatthewHT, who is the dark side player, playing the CCT carbon chamber testing objective. In game 1, Matt beat Justin by 15 force, and so Justin needs to win by 16 or more, or win on lost piles if they both win by 15. As far as this particular match, I think CCT is favored, generally because it moves over Fett, and then the Despair +1 makes it hard to attack the audience chamber, and Legend is behind a whole turn because they set up Luke on their first turn. So Dark's first turn is like move Fett over, flip. Light's first turn is like set up Luke. Dark's second turn is like back up the audience chamber a bunch, and now Light can go in there, but they just don't have a lot going on. It's hard to attack it early, and then once CCT is set up pretty strong in the audience chamber with scum out, and with blaster ping from Fett's blaster, I think they can just out damage Legend.
Yeah, the point about Legend being a turn behind is interesting.
And it's a turn behind. I mean, it's basically 2 turns behind Throne Room, because Throne Room gets a turn 0. Something like Hitco basically gets a normal turn 1, but something like Legend has to spend its whole first turn doing the Luke thing, and theoretically it couldn't and could do a wild attack, but with the way this Darkside deck plays pretty defensively. So for those of you who don't know, the premise of this CCT deck is you start any methods necessary to grab Fett and his gun, and the gun lets him relocate over to the audience chamber, and the console pulls an interrupt for 1 force that lets him do that free, which is He's All Yours, Bounty Hunter. And then Fett can swap a card from hand once per game during a battle as a just action. So Darkside will swap for a card like Projective Telepathy if Light doesn't have 2 extra force, or will swap for a Stunning Leader to just exclude Fett. So Dark basically gets to cancel a battle free in the audience chamber unless Light has a counter like Impressive, Most Impressive to cancel Stunning, or a Sense, or Mandalorian Mishap to cancel Fett's text before he swaps, if Dark didn't have the counters already in hand. So I think Legend, Hitco gets a normal turn 1. Legend has to set up Luke. If they attacked in and Dark just canceled that, and then Dark came back at him, Light's just so far behind. So, Legend essentially being 2 turns behind is pretty rough.
One thing to note, so Matt played Any Means Necessary, and that allows you to take into hand a bounty hunter, a matching weapon, a matching starship, in any dungeon. And it looks like Matt only took into hand Boba Fett's blaster rifle, and the Jabba's Palace dungeon. Any prison. And he took the dungeon in hand. So he did not take Slave 1 into hand.
Okay, that is interesting. I feel like most decks nowadays do play Slave 1. And just, obviously, Fett's not going to be on there, but they throw random aliens like Wolf and Ponda Baba and stuff. Piloting.
Yeah, it's good to have like a free ship at your disposal.
And the back makes it immune less than 4. Yeah. The Taco Bill points out that Justin starting Jakku as opposed to his site, his most likely a Maz Castle site for a battleground site, is interesting, because then Darkside can take it over and drain there for at least 2, 3 if Ellison Hinthra is there, and so that can become a liability. We kind of saw that in the last game. Oh, and Justin is doing the turn 1 attack, which I'm wondering if he has a sense then, because it feels like Dark could just swap for Projective Telepathy, and you kind of just, I don't know. So my guess is Justin feels behind here in the matchup. Obviously not in the game so far, but just in the matchup thinks, I don't know how I'm going to win this by 16, and decides to go for a more unconventional turn 1 play, especially if he does have, if he's going to say, all right, let me go ahead and weapons display, and if you exclude, you lose some force, and then if you come back and attack, I'll kill maybe 2 guys because I'll hit 1 and attrition the other. And
well, one other thing to consider, typically the turn 2 for the CCT player is getting set up as well. So turn 1 is getting Boba Fett over. Turn 2, you're looking for your scum and villainy with your objective. You're pulling an alien. Hopefully it's Duro, which will then let you pull IG-88, so you can start looking through your force pile every turn. And when you play a character like Rey, and even if you cancel the battle, you still have to respond to Rey in some way on your next turn. And
right,
that can prevent you from you're like, oh, I want to pull Duro to pull IG-88, but maybe I need to pull a fighting character.
It could force a worse pull. My point was, if Justin didn't do this Rey and did Luke, you're correct that Dark second turn is still just setup. It's not putting on any pressure or anything, but Dark setup itself helps him defend the audience chamber. Whereas Light setup, it sets up for a flip objective, but it doesn't help advance the main goal of taking that audience chamber.
Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't seem like, I mean, Matt only has 6 cards in hand, so it's hard. It seems like a high reward play, I think. We'll see how it pans out.
Ray? Yeah, even though he knows it's going to cancel the battle. I mean, the best case scenario here for Matt is like a Greedo so that Ray can't swing.
That's right.
So Echo Base Trooper points out in the chat that in OCS games this year, between CCT and Legend, there was 17 of them. CCT was 12-5. 12 wins, 5 losses.
It's a good record. And CRG defeated Bastion, right?
Did Bastion have Legend?
That was my understanding of the matchup, but
okay.
I can't say for certain. It'd be great if the chat weighed in.
Yeah, I didn't really look at Bastion. Was not in my, obviously not in my pod, and then not in on my side of the bracket, so I never even really
the game also took place at like 6 a.m.
So Matt pulls Scum and Villainy. The flip side of his objective lets him pull that once per turn. It also lets him retrieve, but there was nothing in Lost Pile yet. Matt, of course, just got a look at his reserve deck when he pulled that Scum and Villainy, and that means he knows what potential aliens there are in there for the audience chamber. Oh,
that was great for him.
Yeah, and Greedo was from hand. He didn't even have to use that audience chamber pull. Yeah, I think you're right that this Ray play was a high risk, high reward. Justin just said the same thing. From hand is nice. Like he was hoping he'd either activate Greedo or at least have to burn the audience chamber text or something. It's nice for Matt that he didn't.
Yeah, I mean these CCT decks are playing, the character count is low.
Oh,
that is about as good as it gets.
That's mean. So Ray will not be able to fire because Greedo makes it cost 1 to use weapons, and Justin has none saved. And Shizor says they have to have 6 ability to draw Destiny. Ray, of course, only has 5 ability. So Justin's not going to get a Destiny or get to swing. Of course, he doesn't even need a swing. I'm not sure I would have done Greedo if you've also got Forlom.
If Justin doesn't have Hujix here, this could be game.
Right, because he's getting 3 Destinies. Forlom adds 1 with Jabba. Jabba adds 1 with Alien Leader, which Shizor is, and then just 1 for ability. So he's getting 3 Destinies. He's power 20 to 5 and 3 Destinies. Ray covers 12 and will not get a Destiny. So he's losing 8 plus whatever those 3 Destinies are if he has no Hujix in opening hand. And obviously, even if he has the escape pod right here, he doesn't have a force to play it.
I imagine he either has the Hujix or the female interrupt.
Or maybe a free Finn react.
Finn would that's actually a good play too.
Because that would give him a Destiny, and if he had the Destiny adder, it'd bump him up from 0 Destinies to 3.
Mm-hmm.
So he does have some outs for sure, besides Hujix, Finn.
Finn is actually probably the most likely. Oh, Justin saying short game.
Mm. Oh, he just got power +3 because Despair says you get +3 in battle. So now it's 11 plus the 3 Destinies.
So while I'm shooting, which means that there's no there was no Finn react. Right. He does play the female interrupt,
which you would
a Destiny to power.
You would not waste that if you were going to Hujix a battle anyway. You'd keep that in hand.
Yeah.
So that's basically saying you do not have a Hujix in hand.
He's looking at like
11. Yeah, because right now he covers 12, so it's 11 difference, and then 3 Destiny versus 1 Destiny. Yeah, so Justin's probably peeling 16-ish here.
It could be.
And since he needs to win by 16 or more, we might just have a.
And he could potentially lose Luke in his.
Right, and that's why you usually set up Luke, is because you need that to flip, and you need to, so you just do it right away. Even if you took a drain of 2 in top deck, you don't want to. Yeah,
And he can see.
Justin just conceded here. That's all right. Well, he took a high risk, high reward play, and Matt just had everything. Matt only has 3 cards in hand right now, but he basically in hand had Greedo, Jabba, Forlom, was able to pull
He had
Shizor.
Sorry.
Good.
Sorry to cut you off. But those are like the 4 perfect cards to have.
Right, if you were picking for... I don't even think you needed Greedo. Once you got Forlom to blank Ray, I would have saved Greedo in hand, personally. But I guess you get 3 more overflow. But it's either, it's going to be game anyway, whether if he doesn't have the Hujix, and if he does, 3 more overflow doesn't do it. It won't actually happen.
I liked the play by Justin. I don't know what other. I imagine he had like maybe Obi-Wan or something to back it up, and he was expecting unless he has Greedo, the only cards he had to be concerned about were like Greedo, Sizor, and Forlom. And he had a hand of 6.
But an audience chamber pull. So he's getting Greedo or Sizor.
If he pulls that, then that means he doesn't find IG-88 that game.
That's true. So maybe but there's other cards. He can find IG if he finds IG or Darrow, or like gets a Proxima into Darrow, or there's enough cards that Ray probably doesn't really do anything. Or she kills 1 character. You spent your whole turn to basically trade 1 character, which will probably be retrieved the next turn with the objective. Because what's Justin's follow-up? Another guy?
If he doesn't have those 3 cards, Sizor means he doesn't get a Destiny draw. If he doesn't have Forlom or Greedo, then he'd get a swing. With a female interrupt,
making him immune to attrition and adding an extra power, that's good. So I guess that was the plan, is he's going, all right, even if Greedo comes down, he uses his audience chamber pull on Greedo, and I can't fire. I make her immune to attrition, I add a Destiny, maybe I peel a couple. He loses someone to that battle Destiny, and then I drop someone else with Ray, and now I can battle again. I've burned through your FET upload, I've burned through your projective telepathy, and now I can pay to swing, and I can clear out and hit someone, draw a Destiny, clear out 2 more guys. And so he's just thinking, if he doesn't attack the audience chamber, he's going to lose this game. He's not going to win by 16. It's not a good matchup for Legend. And so he's thinking, all right, female interrupt, even if he pulls Greedo, it's fine. She'll be immune. I'll re-attack back in. But the fact that Matt just had everything.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he didn't have Finn, because that would have been.
Yeah, well, sure. Then it would have been a no-brainer, I think, because
that would have been a great play, or like a much more reasonable risk to take.
Yeah, and Darkseid could have had some stuff that counters that, like a barrier or a Lana combo, which we did see the Lana combo drawn for Gun Destiny and stuff. So it does have some Finn answers, but yeah, having Finn would have been great, obviously.
Yeah, I think it's a reasonable play on Justin's part. I don't have that much experience with the matchup. I'm a little curious why Legend couldn't have just taken the line of, I'm going to go to your carbon chamber and stack it, and I'm going to go to Jakku and stack it, and I'm going to drain for, 3 and 3 and have Rose and BB-8 and be doing 8 damage effectively, 8 or.
Yeah. So if they flip from some random battle, and they got the Falcon there, they're draining 3 at Jakku, they're draining 3 at the Carbonite chamber, 1 from BB-8, 1 from Rose. Yeah, so 8 effectively versus Dark. I think Dark just has so many guys though, and they get out the IG and they just can decide which would attack whichever one's weaker, right? They can be pulling ships or they can be pulling a bunch of ground guys, but they come down with Aura Singh with her gun, and they come down with Dr. E. They come down with I don't know, EPP Mara, just random stuff, and just they hit that BB-8 and that Rose, and they I think it's hard to. As evidenced by the OCS stats. I think it's hard for Legend to set up 2 stacks that strong with all those cards that before dark can disrupt with a pile of their own stuff.
Maybe. I would need to play it to find out, but
You want to cast? I have some replays people sent me. You want to, since this was so short, cast something else?
sure.
So yesterday in the main Star Wars discussion chat on Slack, somebody asked when Gogolin's going to be doing one of his like deck review shows, and I guess he's taken a little vacation for now, and so I was like, send me any replays if you want a review.
I'm not sure. I think he's overwhelmed with work. I don't know if vacation's the right word, but
I didn't mean vacation in life. I meant vacation from his Twitch show.
Yeah,
He's like on hiatus. That's a better word for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know people are hoping to have his show back soon.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's why they were asking. And so, but I was like, well, in the meantime, if you have a really good game that you wanted cast, send me a link. And then like a few hours later, I got a message from Apollyon with like, hey, this is a really good game, check it out. And I was like, why is he sending me this random game? I had totally forgotten like what I had said. And so like I clicked it and watched it and I was like, oh, that was a really good game. And then like I remembered, I'm like, ah, crap, I just spoiled it for myself. So I have seen this game, but it was an entertaining game. And then someone else sent me another one too, but in replays we can go pretty quick for commentary. So Apollo's playing a weird Old Allies deck here.
Hey, Joe, would you be able to share the game on the Discord so I can see it?
Oh, yeah. Let me see. I don't know that the last time I tried to screen share on Discord and stream and Discord chat, it did not work. I don't know if it was my bandwidth or processor or something, but let me try. Share.
If not, I mean, I think I'm only on like a couple second delay, but.
Oh yeah, if you watch on the Twitch. Can you see it?
I got a lot of energy.
All right, so
can you?
What's up?
I don't think this is gonna.
Okay. Do you just want to watch it on Twitch and then?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was getting feedback when I started doing that, so I would hear myself twice.
Oh. Oh, because screen share also shares audio. All right.
Matt just told me the other cards he had in hand.
Oh yeah, were they absurd also?
Yeah, he had a Maul, a Duro, and a Stunning Leader.
Oh wow. Duro means the next turn he can just, even if Justin did have the Hujix and then sets up Luke, he can just go Duro IG, and now his audience chamber is like Forlom, Jabba, Shizor, like Duro IG. He's stacked at the audience chamber. Wow, that's a great hand. Tap Maul. I'm assuming Tap Maul you probably wouldn't play EPP in Scum. Is meh, whatever. In that matchup, they're gonna have plenty of ability for guys. But if he's cloaking, using him for cloaking, there's probably not a cloaking counter in Legend, so that lets him drain free and cuts that drain to 2. And then what would you say the other one was?
Maul, Duro, and Stunning Leader.
Oh, so he still had more evasion. Yeah, that's a good hand.
All right, so we're watching this from Apollyon's point of view.
Yes, he is Old Allies, and he's playing PMJ, who starts ISB with KDY, Arrest Order, and Imperial Enforcement. So
PMG's not playing 7 Emperor, is he?
No. I only saw this one. He probably has a few in there, probably 3 of them or something. But so turn 1 just does Emperor, and then And then he plays Mustafar from hand and pulls a sight. And I was gonna pause on that and I missed it. That's okay. Man, I can't wait. I want for now that GIMP is open source, and I'm hoping there's, awesome, capable people in our community who weren't a part of the GIMP team and now can add more, because there's some features that like rewind on replays would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think one of the like very first posts I made on the forums when I started participating again in last year was a request that whenever you searched a pile in GIMP, that it just paused automatically.
Oh, in a replay? That would be cool.
Yeah. Otherwise, like I could see like rewinding it, and then you have this like 2-second window to try
click
to click
again, and that could be annoying. That's a good point. That's a good solution. I like that. So here, looking at this Old Allies build.
Is that the actual Starship weapon in rapid fire?
Yeah. So there is a quad laser cannon that can go on the Falcon to hit ships that are bothering you in a rapid fire to help pull it. There is, I don't see Tarn, but that wouldn't be uncommon to, if you're using a weapon in a rapid fire, and the weapon is going on a starfighter, but it also goes on a Corvette, which he's got TANF and.
And you could play on target potentially.
Yeah, he's got the TANF puller. He's got a 3PO puller. He's playing a gift. I guess Scum worries him a lot as an Old Allies player, so he's got a 3PO puller and a gift to just deal with that. Other cards you don't necessarily see in Old Allies, you've got Lay of Alderaan, so they can't reduce their drains. That would be good against ISB, and does the cancel leaders game text thing. Changing the odds is one that you play when you want to annoy people. And if they do a verify, you can just place an interrupt out of play. Transmission Terminated is a weird one. I'm guessing maybe for Image of a Dark Lord, mostly, because you suspend Visage anyway with Raydown.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Otherwise, pretty standard stuff. It's okay. Everything
There's
is
like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's like very few characters in this Old Allies build.
Yeah, there was only a few in the deck, and there was 5 in hand, and there was maybe 5 in deck. So unless he activated just a bunch in that 8, it does seem pretty light on characters.
So it looked like
there was 3 of the 4 news pile were characters. There was a Chewie, a Lor Santeca, and an Admiral Yuo Satura. So
he grabbed See Around Kid. That's interesting.
Yeah, he didn't.
I guess he wants that to protect against Tarkin. So he does the normal thing. He doesn't add Admiral Radis, which is unusual.
Especially because you've got the leadership in hand. So if they come down right now with like Mara and ship and a dude, and he doesn't have punch it or anything. If they came down with Mara, ship, and just like and Callus and a Poltreatum or whatever, and drew 3 Destiny, they could clear out both guys. Whereas Radis with leadership would stop that. But maybe he just wants a cheap free guy for an easy flip.
Yeah, I would put Radis down every single time.
I agree. So then he did draw 2 more characters. So he just activated a bunch of characters. Saw's really good against ISB. Cancel something like a commander, a trooper assault, and then they can't modify your drains. And if they have a stack of dudes, adding that attrition is great. So he puts Leia down with Brave Resistance and grabs Lor Santeca. What's this? Shuttling, landing, and taking off is free. Oh, and she can upload evac. Okay. So Vader drains for 2.
Wait, so he just deployed his locations and drew
a couple. He sent Leia used with Brave Resistance for that and drew 1 and saved 8.
So here comes the Stalker. So he paid 3 to drain?
Yeah.
And he spent
3 to drain,
9.
8 for Stalker because Imperial Starships deploy +1. Or 9 for Stalker. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then pull
2 more for
Freedom.
pole, 3 more for the
So
trooper.
patrol seems to indicate Tarkin to me, because you would want a second agent. Oh, and there is Tarkin, but he had a second agent with Colonel Wolf, so I don't know why you put patrol on.
So you add so this gets him 4 so he can flip. And then when he deployed the patrol, he followed it up with Wolf. So Wolf gets him another force, and then Tarkin, when he deployed him, only had 4 cards in hand, so he drew 2 more off of it. So I think.
But why not play the patrol with Vader? So to make that a drain +1, you still activate the same with Wolf. You still draw the same with Tarkin. You just have it on the ground instead of in space.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that was my only point, is why put it up there. I was thinking it was just a second agent. He had Tarkin, Pole, and Patrol, and was going to use that to cancel. But once he had Wolf, I was like, why put the Patrol up there instead of just on the ground? And so they battle, and interestingly, he does not use the See You Around kid, so Tarkin can't cancel. So Tarkin does cancel.
He's immune less than 7.
Yeah, with between Pole Treatum and KDY.
Yeah.
So he assumed he's not going to draw a 6 and add a 1 with Ray. There's no point in making it uncancelable other than overflow. He's down by 8. He loses General Calrissian in a 1. And he shuttles Vader up. PMJ, interestingly. Maybe that was his plan. Maybe that's why he put the patrol up there. But I feel like I'd rather have patrol Vader down on the ground.
How many force does Pauline have? It's a small screen for me.
How many what?
How much force does Pauline have? It's 20
right now he has 23. So he saved 8 and he just activated 15. So he has 23 force. He's going to probably have to land the ship, because if you run Dark Side Save to Force, which can follow a Stalker. So he'll probably go to 2 sites, flip, and then land the Falcon. The other thing you could do is just stack it. Put on Radis, put on Solo, sit there, because why let him follow you? And
yeah, but he already played leadership, and I think if you do the Radis plan, you would keep the leadership.
Yeah, he played leadership to grab Leia again, which you get 2 strike planning pulls. He must have Brave Resistance her twice already with that, and then wanted her again. All right, so Lorsan Tekka comes down and gets to draw him a card. He added commissions for some reason. That just feels like a waste of a force to me. Like, do you care if random card slip sliding away or Isard? I guess so that she can't be retrieved with the objective, but
yeah.
And he has the force. So Leia comes down. Lord draws another card, flips. Solo will come down on the Falcon. So typically, I would think this would be a pretty bad match for Old Allies with them just stacking some agents on Jakku. They can go guy there, or multiple, stack. Put just like 1 or 2 dudes over on Cloud City to drain for 2, and just be pretty stacked in space. And with lights, with the drain -1 from the objective, light would barely be doing any damage. Right now, they'd be doing 1. Of course, Saw is a good counter, and so he would stop that -1 at his location. But otherwise, I think it's hard for light to get damage through, because in Dark retrieves a dude every turn also. And I think this is... And then Dark can go wide to the 2-0 and they're on Cloud City site. So I think a lot of times light side plays Blount or something like that to flip them back.
And he draws.
Oh, so he did leave the Falcon there. And he did play the Radis. And now he does have that See Around kid, so he can protect his 2 destinies. He's still going to get outpowered by quite a bit, looks like. Oh, this is a weird play. Blizzard 4 in front of Leia's gun. Unless, like, you had a 5 tracked and we're going to trample her, I don't know why you would do that. Oh, he wants to trample Saw and then move away. That makes sense. If he can get rid of Saw, he can make all the trains -1 and not worry about. All right, so Saw does die. So this is an interesting build of ISB because it has stuff like Emperor Palpatine and EPP Mara and then just a lot of guys, but it doesn't seem like the Trooper heavy version we've been seeing recently. It doesn't seem like the Walker heavy version with Veers and stuff, though it does have a Blizzard 4, but it's not the free executor. It's kind of a little hybrid version.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, Apollo didn't play See Around Kid, which means Tarkin's going to get to cancel a draw, which means he definitely won't crack the immunity, so Dark's going to lose nothing. Yeah, Light, if they had protected it, would have got 5/5 plus 1. They would have killed two guys.
How many cards are in his reserve deck currently? Polyons?
20. So, and he can activate 16. So
yeah, it would be pretty easy to find again with 3PO. Like you could be tracking it all game.
Tracking what?
If you, the kid, See Around Kid.
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
Just effectively shut off Tarkin.
Yeah, did he take it into hand so that he could use the jaw text and just hasn't had the opportunity? No, he would have when he saved 8. I don't know what he's saving that for. PMJ goes ahead and shuttles.
Or does
down.
that only work? Does that only work at sites? See Around Kid. Can you?
No. Oh yeah, you are correct. Destiny draws during battles at sites may not be canceled. So he took it for Tarkin. For Tarkin on the ground, and then Tarkin went to space. And yep, good call. So it seems so weird that he chose that on purpose and then didn't play it, but that makes sense. So Leia of Alderaan now says you can't modify drains there. Saw died, but Leia of Alderaan made it so that you could still modify drains anyway.
Yeah, that card seems to do a lot of work against ISB. It cancels. Could cancel Tarkin's game text. This is a drain can't be canceled or modified, so if they had strategic reserves out, they wouldn't be able to use it. Dash comes down
over to Cloud City, which seems weird to me because that's only a drain of 1. If you had Saw with it and you were setting up a drain of 2, everything's -1 over on Jakku, so you're like, well, let me just set up a drain of 2 over there. That would make sense, but I don't know. So, and he lands the ship because Stalker could follow if he ran in space, so he's going to have to be paying to drain, and I can't see paying to drain for 1 here. Even when you're activating 16, you've already got a drain here, and so the Cloud City decision, it seems weird.
Mm-hmm.
Dark drains for 2, and a gift and quad laser cannon go away.
Good cards to lose.
Callus comes down and chooses between Tyrant and Force Push. And he takes the Tyrant.
I think that makes sense.
Take the 1 out, and you don't have many. PMJ only has 4 in hand. He's going to be drawing, but
yeah, it looks like he's going to be drawing a ton this turn.
Yeah, I don't know. Doing the okay, so PMJ drew Isard for Destiny, and then redrew her with Enforcement, but then he drew Veers next, and couldn't take that into hand, so I'm sure that was disappointing. And Apollo subtracts 1 with changing the odds from Veers, and then subtracts 2 from the Vergence with the objective. So the 2 destinies that PMJ drew ended up being 0-0. And Apollo draws Rey, but redraws with the Jedi Lev. Gets a perimeter scan.
You're grabbing Jedi Lev. I don't know if that. I don't think that's the right play.
Escape pod non-combo, and then he used a solo. Solo's heading. So let's see if that makes a difference. What he drew? He drew a 4 and a 6 is 10. Rey makes it 11. Solo would make it 12. So upping it makes you can't just lose Callus and Patrol. If he just had 10, he'd just lose Callus and Patrol and keep Mara and Blizzard 4, and instead he has to lose those and keep the other guys. I guess what he was thinking. So that was Darkside's battle, and they ended up losing 2 cards, and Light lost nothing. So that was
that's a good battle.
Good battle for Light. I agree with you on the grab, and especially because 3PO is out. Once you see your opponent has 3PO out, especially in a deck like this, you got to figure they're going to be looping. It could be worse. They're 100% have the female interrupt in here, and they can loop that every turn to add an extra ping to wherever they're draining. So, yeah, I feel like grabbing Jedi Love is weird when 3PO is out. There could be a We're Doomed. And so Darks just draws a bunch. They're up to 11, and they save 3. Light side's going to need to somehow establish in space, I think, because you can't just pay to drain 1 over and over, and Dark's draining free for 2 up in space, and then retrieves an ISB agent and attacks you. And
yeah, he's got to find another ship to go to Mustafar. Though he knows,
but then Stock will move over in front of it and then follow when it runs, so it gives him an extra turn. But he's going to somehow need to stack space at some point, I think.
Right.
So he paid to drain for 2 here because Leia Valderon, but then he also did pay to drain 1 at the upper walkway, just trying to get damage through, I guess. That I don't know.
Yeah, he had Poe. If he hadn't deployed the speeder, he would have been able to pair Poe with the speeder and beat up Callus and the trooper.
Right.
Though I don't know if he'd necessarily do that, or Callus just adds with any other ISB agent, so he would be drawing 2, and so you'd be a little.
Though you can subtract 2 with the objective, you'd be immune less than 5, so he'd need to, he'd need to draw a 7 between the 2 destinies. With the redraw, he probably does. So Light opts to block that drain. He's got Poe on there now, so there's 3 battle destinies, and he stacks this site. Lore can move Leia over to drain if he wants, and Rose will retrieve. So now he's set up okay, other than paying to drain. But he's not doing much damage. Again, he's draining 1 and 1, retrieving 1, and Dark's draining 2 and retrieving 1, but it's free, and they have options to go to the encampment and to attack on Cloud City, or, you know.
He plays as changing the odds to plays interrupt out of play.
Plays a command out of play. He 3PO'd for that on his turn, specifically was looking for that changing the odds. Seems like.
Yeah, changing the odds isn't terrible in OA. I like they're tracking us also is a card that I think is worth playing in OA. It just
when you've got the -2, sometimes just having an extra 1 bump.
-3, yeah, is actually, it just somehow is just a lot better.
So Gideon and a Garrison come down, which will give Dark 3 destinies, but the Garrison gets perimeter scanned. And Light uses a rescue and takes Tanev.
So we both said that Jedi Levitation was the right grab. It's sort of the right grab because, like,
3PO
one card it will be kind of great to get a second general on the ground.
Well, so here's what I'm thinking. Apollo's play can easily just be lore move Leia over, drop Hera. You can battle. You can shoot someone with Leia. You can leadership with Leia to limit them from 3 to 1 destiny, and you can get 4 destiny between Hera, Poe, and Solo and ability, and you can be immune less than 4. You put Hera on board. Everything's immune less than 4, and you have the subtract 2. So they're not going to draw a 6 unless they draw Emperor, but most likely not going to draw a 6 with their 1 battle destiny. So you lose nothing, and they probably lose all 4 between your Leia's shot and 4 battle destinies. Like, that seems like a solid thing.
I'm curious why Vader was not shuttled down to join this party.
Yeah, what's Vader doing he's not helping up in space. I guess just probably got annoyed at that perimeter scan stopping his plan, and didn't have much else, so he just drew. So PMJ's up to 16 in hand. Light retrieves with Rose, and Dark says lose 1 to imbalance. And Apollo loses a Hujix from hand, so I guess he's not worried about any overflow anywhere. I think he's seen enough of the deck. Light pays to drain for 1 and then adds 1 with the female interrupt. I think he's seen enough of the deck to know there's no big trooper beatdown coming. He doesn't think he'll need that Hujix. All right, so Leia does move over. Let's see if Hera comes down also inside. No. That's weird. The Falcon's not full, right? Yeah, I can add 4. Oh, he puts Padme there. It's pretty good. I can't shake him means it's going to take... Apollo's not going to be able to fire. So that's inconvenient for him because Leia's gun costs 1 and I can't shake him makes it 2 and he only has 1 force left after paying to battle. Cancels Callus's game text but does not leadership to limit... Oh, he does. Okay.
I think you'd actually prefer to add a destiny with leadership if he has sufficient destinies.
Mm-hmm.
Because with the subtraction, there's no way you're going to lose more than 1 card. And when you play it to add a destiny, you could wipe out all 4 characters possibly. I think that's a greater.
I don't know why. I would have preferred to have Hera here than Padme.
Yeah, I would have just played Hera and no Padme.
There's no way for Dark to, or play Padme and keep Hera, but there's no way right now for Dark to limit any destinies on the ground. So PMJ's after the subtract, his destiny becomes a 2, which everyone's immune to. So Light loses nothing, and Dark Side has 20 attrition between their 3 destinies, Destiny to Attrition and Rey. So Dark loses everything, Light loses nothing. So now Light is looking quite strong. Dark,
yeah, Apollyon?
What's that?
Apollyon set up his destinies for that battle well. I think the deploying Hera and Padme is a classic mistake that I see a lot of players make, where they add characters and spend force that really isn't going to be productive, and they should be keeping their hand size up.
But if Hera wasn't at that site, Veers is coming down on top of Laura and Rose. I think, but instead of Hera, he could have just moved the Falcon over there, and then he's got Leia, Padme at 1.
You could have disembarked Rey and moved Rey over to join.
That too.
You have a huge stack of stuff, so you have plenty of options to kind of fortify both sides.
Yeah, I would have moved the Falcon because Veers isn't coming at Leia and Padme because of the extra attrition draw. If they draw 5/5, it just clears out everything. So, But again, right now, Light can drain for 0, 1, and 1 if they pay 6, which he does go ahead and pay to drain. He got that changing the odds back with 3PO. So looping that is kind of nice.
Yeah, paying to drain is not really, unless you're going to, if you don't have any other plans for your force, paying to drain isn't really that great.
Right. Okay, so he does go to space like we figured. He knows, did Darkseid lose Tyrant? We know they took with, no. So they took Tyrant to hand with Callus, but never lost it. So we know Dark has a ship in hand, and obviously can also move the Stalker in front and then just follow if Light runs. Light is very low on cards in hand, just has a leadership and a changing the odds, and now a rescue, which will turn into a...
Does changing the odds work at
in space?
Only sites or in space as well?
If opponent just drew Battle Destiny or Destiny for Chance Cube, subtract 1. Yeah, anywhere. Okay. Just drew Battle Destiny. As long as it's not, Evac Justice, can't modify it.
Yeah, because I would be a little bit worried about drawing 2 destinies here and clearing both ships. He just needs to draw... PMJ's thinking he needs to draw a 8 to do that. He adds Asan, which doesn't make any sense because she's not a pilot.
She's not. She's forfeit fodder if he draws a 5 because his reserve deck has a ton of 5s. It's only immune less than 4. So if Apollo draws a 5, he'd rather lose Isart than Tyrant. That's my guess.
Yeah, I guess he has to have no other characters for that to be justifiable.
Right, which is weird because he had 12 cards in hand. Yeah, so that's that 5 right there is why Isart was added. But he traded her for 1 ship. Didn't have a way to add a Destiny.
If I was him, I would have. Yeah, I mean,
Shuttle down Vader and move over Stalker.
where does Vader go though? To that site?
Yeah.
I guess yeah, Vader's not doing anything in space.
Right. I think he just forgot he's up there. Yeah, I don't know why. He adds 3 power. Like, whoop. If he was down here, he could blank Hera. He could blank Rose. Like,
Does he initiate battles for free at least?
All right, so Light grabs Holdo, which, you know, you stick her in Tanev by herself doesn't do a whole lot because she can't suicide with no one else there. She can, but then the battle just ends. And Light is draining free now, so they do get to drain
For 1-1.
1/1
Yeah.
and retrieve with Rose. But if the Falcon goes back up to space and Holdo's on Tanev, and Light's threatening 3 Destiny from the Falcon plus 7 from Holdo to their total, plus Ray 1, 8 to their total, that's a good threat. And he walklings to retrieve a 6, a fly casual. Which
Seems a bit premature.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he wants it on the bottom so it's available for his turn, offensive battles. The other...
Then I mean, if he doesn't initiate battle here, you should wait until his opponent's turn to do it.
Yeah,
Very least.
Exactly. And then the other thing is if he wants it defensively, you wait until you've deployed everything and moved and then do it so it's right near the top and you can 3PO down to it.
Yeah. The other thing is that his Destiny is so insane. Right now, he's been filtering it out really well that I don't think you necessarily need a 6. I think you're more interested in kind of getting back a key character in case
you lose a key dude, you retrieve it and then 3PO back into it. I agree. So Light, let's see. Light battles, gets to retrieve with Leia. And Dark does not have a command. So
yeah, that's really fortunate.
Light draws a total battle destiny of 9. Dark draws a 5, which Light subtracts 2, and then changing the odds, so subtracts 3. That 5 becomes a 2. So then Rose can cover, and he has an extra Rose in hand. Oh no, it's plus. What did I miss? Why is it 5?
He drew 2 destinies because of your
second destiny was a 3. Gotcha.
So did he limit himself to 6 attrition?
5.
Yeah, you don't need to play changing the odds then.
Right, because Hera covered 6.
Yeah, or I mean, you could also lose Lore Senteka by making it 5 and keeping Hera, who's just going to be great for you against ISB, adding a battle destiny every battle.
Yeah. Leaving Lore and Rose alone in front of Blizzard 2 is interesting because Blizzard 2 can pull trample. There is one on the grabber, but if he has another trample in a second trample in hand and he's been waiting, he has a 5 tracked that he can just trample Lore and then battle Rose. He saw Hujix was lost from hand earlier, so if he's been holding a trample, this would be a great. Of course, he probably would have trampled Hera, so that's a moot line of thinking, but otherwise, you know, if
well, did he have enough force to trample Hera?
Oh, that's a good point. He did not. So, yeah, but he doesn't have one now. He drops down Tarkin, poultryed him. Tarkin needs a second agent, so there's Wolf. He did not battle in space because he had no way to limit destinies, and the Falcon is getting 3 between Solo and Poe, and has that Holdo bomb, potentially adding another 7 to the total.
Are we watching the stalker becoming the stalked?
And now Light's just set up really well. Like I don't know what Dark can do here because Light's they're still not doing a ton of damage. They're draining 1/1/1, but they're also retrieving 1, and Dark's doing basically no damage, and Light has a ton of stuff set up. And changing the odds comes back into hand. I'm going to speed up this replay a little one. So Dark plays a Death Squadron. They see a 3 and a 5 Gideon. And he plays a changing the odds to place the I can't shake him out of play. So yeah, there was a Gideon and I can't shake him. He verified that and then changing the odds placed it out of play. And then PMJ just concedes because that's the end of the game because he decides like I can't fight your Space Force. I could battle on the ground and cancel your destiny, but like what am I? I'm not really doing anything. He says I'm not going to win this game. So
changing the odds was great for him that game.
That was a very interesting use. There was definitely some weird cards in this Old Allies, but I think ISB is a tough game, and he set that up really well.
Mm-hmm.
I think MVP was just multiple destinies. The Hera, the Poe, the Solo, the one battle where he lost nothing and Dark lost 4 good characters.
Yep.
And Dark not having Justice or Command or anything.
Or the battle earlier where there was Darkseid initiated it with Blizzard 4, Mara, and 2 other characters. And Lightside lost nothing and he had to lose two characters.
Mara and Blizzard 4, yeah. Yeah, those 2 key battles, Light lost nothing and Dark lost Mara, Blizzard 4, Garrison, Stormtrooper Patrol, Callus, and some other random guy that was in that stack of 4. Moff Gideon. So he lost those 6 cards, and Light lost nothing. It's pretty good.
Are you gonna be doing another game?
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm gonna drop off.
All right.
I was yawning through most of that.
All right.
Not really into the game, but it was a long day.
Yeah.
But hopefully this game's good too.
Cool. All right. Have a good night, man.
All right. Catch you later, guys.
Let's see. So I am going to do another one. And let me find it. It was a game from Joker King. And he sent me a replay. This one I did not watch. So that Apollo game I had seen, though I didn't remember most of it, even though I only watched it yesterday. I think I watched it at like midnight or something. But this game I have not seen. Joker King wrote, feel compelled to do replay commentary. I'd be curious to your thoughts on this game between Dylan and myself. So let's see. All right, Joker King shockingly is playing court. I say with my tongue firmly in my cheek. And very standard setup. And then Dylan is playing Rebel Strike Team, which we don't see a lot. But Rebel Strike Team blows up the bunker and plays a bunch of scouts. If I am... The last time I played Rebel Strike Team in the OCS earlier this year. Well, I did Scott's Boom Race OCS challenge and lost a couple games with that. But I actually played Rebel Strike Team legit in I think March or something, and won a few games with it. It's I think it has some fundamental flaws right now that if design wanted to boost the deck, they need to shore up. Baroni picked this for his light side in his round of 16 game against me, which unfortunately we didn't end up getting to play because his life got really busy and we weren't able to schedule that. But the flip side like QMC they can't modify your drains. QMC is where you have an alien, Garrison Destroyed is where you have a Rebel Scout. And so going, Dark can't make your drains -1 seems like it would be good. I think the big problem with Rebel Strike Team is maintaining a space presence, because most of its drains on the ground are pretty weak. It's got the back door that's a 2, and then it'll have the landing site that's a 1. The bunker will be blown up. Like it doesn't do a ton of damage. And if it's paying 3 to drain 1, paying 3 to drain 2, paying 3 to drain 1, it's not great. In general, if you are playing a deck that doom stacks a site, you can afford to pay 3 to drain 2 or 3 there, and then you do your ping with BB-8 and you retreat with Rose and whatever. Like it's fine. You can afford to pay 3 to drain 1 when you're draining at the Ewok village with a lightsaber and a Prophecy of the Force on there. But if you're draining 1/1/1, like you don't want to be pay 3. You're gonna run out quickly. And so that's why a deck like Black Sun wants to go to space, so then they can get all the little ping drains for free. But Light typically can't fit, since they need to blow the bunker, can't fit a really good space package in. So at best they have like a home 1 or something like that. And Dark space is just too good to deal with that. I think ISB, for example, would just do Stalker a bunch of agents and just like overwhelm it. Not literally the card Overwhelmed, but just massively outpower and beat down and follow around between Endor and Mustafar and kick Light out of space. So I think that's one problem Rebel Strike Team has. Another one, so if I'm guessing between these two, I think Court has a heavy advantage here. One is because Court space is really good. They don't have to play their Null Hutta, and they can, because some of their ships have hyperspeed 5 and can go between, and Light ships typically won't. But if they don't play that and they just stack the system like you would against No Idea, QMC, Light decks that have a single system, I think Court space is really strong and can just stack that. And home ones, I'm betting Dengar and Punishing One is in here to just make home one not immune. And so one, I think Dark can just dominate space here, and that's a big advantage. And then two, I think they can just pile the bunker. And Dark loves to just pile a bunch of dudes and battle with scum. And so I think it will be a tough game for Rebel Strike Team. Would be my guess. So General Leia gets pulled, and that's a weird one to pull with strike planning, because normally you pull Crix and General Solo, because Solo V pulls all your like stuff for free, like your bunker and stuff. You can pay 2 with your objective, or you can pull it free with Solo, and he also pulls on their turn. So you just he speeds you up. He costs you less force. Like Solo's for sure great. And usually use Crix to grab stuff like Kinsaric and other random dudes that help you establish presence. So General Leia is definitely an interesting choice here. Be kind of cool if he had like Lore Santeca, and so that he could just control phase move into the bunker and blow it up. But since you have to be there to deploy the like charges and everything, either the charges or the epic event, I don't know which one, but you have to actually be in there to deploy it on there. Maybe even control it, but I don't think so. Because that's the case, the lore move would be silly, because you'd have to already be in there at some point. So let's see. Turn 1, Dark decides not to really do much. They pull a Docu Bay. They do play their system. No and Light probably can't run. And then they top deck because Court, they don't have a dude there. And what he top decks is a Scum and Villainy. Court runs 2, so he's probably not worried about losing that, other than maybe next turn he might activate his other one if he pulls Jabba, and that would be annoying. So Solo is in hand, and Solo grabs the bunker, and Crix was in hand, so that's why he did not pull either of those. And Crix pulls Wuda, who I think is the one that pulls a site. Yeah, so Wuda costs 2, and he pulls Chirpa's Hut. And then he goes ahead and plays the bunker and the back door. Back door using shield is down, non-V. And Oh, this is another problem with Rebel Strike Team is you get +1 generation right now. So Light's activating 18. Once he blows a bunker, he's going to lose 5 of that because he's getting +1 for shield is down, but it only works when the objective's on the front side. Once a bunker blows, you lose those +1 at each site. Plus, this has an icon, and you lose that icon because it blows up. And so you suddenly lose 5 force, or a lot of Rebel Strike teams don't necessarily play the Wuda Sherpa's hut, so they go from 14 down to 10. And that's with Dark giving him 3. So if Dark doesn't give you any force, Light after flipping gets what, 2, 4, 6, 8, Walkling 9 plus himself 10. Light would only get 10 force. Now 12 because there's a Chirpa's hut. It's really tough. And like I was saying, and then if you got to pay to drain at 2 different places, that's 6 of your 12 force. You just can't do much. So that activation problem when you blow it up is a big problem for Light side. So Light deploys all that stuff, draws a couple cards, I think, and they lost Throw Me Another Charge to the objective. Dark pulls Jabba with the Audience Chamber, and Jabba pulls Scum. I don't even think Dark needs to really reinforce the Audience Chamber that much because you've got a Greedo in hand to react, and you've got a Gick if he did somehow take it over and deploy a bunch of guys. He wouldn't have the 4 force to pay to cancel Scum, and so you could just Gick it and come back with dudes. Like I think you just leave this pretty thin for the moment. Ratik is a great one because he's got to go to Tatooine anyway, and he can steal force. So that's a good one to do, but I don't know that I would do much else. Because you kind of want Duro to download Guri somewhere else, maybe in space. So he drops an aggressive Mara on here. Light's only answer is probably a keep your eyes open. He does opt to pay to retrieve, so if Scum is lost, he's got a second one back in deck now. And he hits Crix, which will slow him from grabbing guys, and he draws a 5. Wuda only covers 3 because he's powerful for +1 for the light icons, so Solo's gonna have to die. So that's a great turn for Joker King, because not only did he get set up on Tatooine, retrieve his lost pile, Mara killing the 2 crucial guys for Light side is just brutal. Light didn't have any answer, any barrier, any keep your eyes open, anything like that. So Light says, all right, let's rumble. Drops a Luke and Leia in the Audience Chamber. And no weapons or anything, though. So Dark uses a force to react with Greedo. We'll see if Light has a Odin combo or something like that. No. And Greedo's forfeit 6 because of +2 from the objective. Jabba doubles his power. So now Dark is slightly ahead in power, can easily cover the forfeit. With no weapons, I mean, Light needs Dark to draw less than 4, so he doesn't have to lose anyone. But if Dark draws greater than 4, all right, so Light's at least immune. Dark's going to have to peel 2 to the power difference. Or, I mean, Light will have to peel 2, and Dark will have to forfeit a guy. But now he can come back with just, like, all his stuff. He can just be, like, Fet. I mean, a perimeter scan would be nice here. Wuda runs there, I guess, so he can eventually either go there or go there, but he seems like a big liability. Perimeter scan stops Fet. And Simple Tricks is played, which... I don't know, Mandalorian Mishap is played and grabbed, and it grabs Leia's blaster. That would be a good card for Light right now. Which, if he does have to, yeah, I mean, he'll be able to shoot Fett Lost if he can draw 5. All right, so he shoots the poor little Ewok guy who is still power 2, forfeit 3. So he covers 5. P59 is 9, so he's going to have to lose Wuda and 4. I don't like that Leia in here because I feel like more Rebels is good, because Rebel Strike Team generally likes to have a Jedi Presence beatdown as an option because they're playing so many little swarmy, scrubby Rebels. That's interesting. So he plays Leia's gun. Oh, so he can cover Coward and he can retrieve 1. He gets a leadership back. Shoots at Jabba. I don't like that. I would have gone for Fett, even though it's harder. It's more crucial. It's not like he has a clash or something. All right. So hidden weapons Luke, who just gets hit. So that's about the best outcome for light side. This is interesting because there's a Hujik. So Wuda, if he would have come down harder on Wuda, he would have been peeling a lot. Well, and I guess we did see him peel 4. So there's, yeah, Dark totals 7, which Luke covers, and Dark's gonna have to lose. They opt to lose Retic so they can still do Fett, and I feel like he moves in Elors. He's gonna contest the chamber even with Fett there. He's got to figure there's another bounty hunter coming down with him, so he's got to withstand 3 destinies or hit Fett and make him immediately lost. But a ceasefire or something like that would stop that. Dark drains at the back door. I feel like I might have moved P59 in to threaten that. That's fine. Wait, what just happened? Darkside battled with just alone Fett. I mean, they retrieved from Scum and they can gick this, but why? They're not getting a destiny. There's no decree to give them a destiny. Maybe they're just worried about Leia's gun. If they drop a bounty hunter like Cad Bane and then Leia's gun caps that off, it's Fett's alone anyway, but at least give yourself a shot. Make Leia draw 5 to do that. I don't know. Drop another alien too. You drop Duro, Cad. Now you're getting 3 destiny. He'd have to go for Fett. Like you're clearing stuff. This is a weird play. It wastes your gick. It doesn't kill anyone by light side. It lets you retrieve 2 with Scum, but light can cancel Scum now. You don't have the Jabba out to re-download it. I don't know. Light does go ahead and pay to cancel. Very confused by that. All right, Dark draws up a bunch, including getting another Scum, another hidden weapons, but he doesn't have someone who can use that right now. Leadership gets grabbed. None Shall Pass is nice because if Light tries to reinforce that with like another Jedi Luke or something, you can bounce him. Light drains for 2, and Dark loses off the top an Aura and a Reese. So Light occupies this, which means per this text he can deploy there, and so Bringer Lynn comes down, plays the purple card, the blow the shield card, plays the explosive charge. Yeah, you just have to occupy. Crix, is that a second Crix? Did he retrieve Crix? Walkling wasn't busted, and Leia retrieved a leadership. Why would you play Crix? 2. Did he pay to Jedi 11? I missed it or something. So Crix got hit. Crix got forfeited. Crix got retrieved. Oh, okay, he did get retrieved in the first Leia battle. Yeah, okay, makes sense. So Light battles P59 and draws a launching. Dark draws a 0 and adds 1 to it. Because they're going to be taking some overflow, they would be power 8 to 10, and now that'll make it 1 overflow instead of 2. And he loses that passenger deck for the overflow, and I imagine Luke will move in. Yep. And Light was going to try and blow that bunker next turn. Dark side's shield use has been questionable. Did Dark play a Cold Feet? Because if not, no Senate shield means all their hand is going to go to used pile. So that's not so good for Dark side. Hopefully they have another shield pool. Dark's just going to the bunker. Maybe Dark's just screwing around. I don't know. This seems like a weird thing that Dark's doing. Dark plays Cad and Zam. Loses one to their own objective. I assume no battle, because without scum, there's no point. Light cannot blow that unless they control it. So they're going to have to clear through those dudes. Now I'd be worried about a Jedi Presence. I'd be worried about like 2 more scrub guys battle Jedi Presence and Light side having like 35 power to your 9. Light only has 6 cards in hand. They had 5, but then Crix just pulled this guy. So he drops Delvar and Sabine, who gets barriered. Cancel immunity, isn't going to do anything. No Jedi Presence, no weapons display, so they're just going to trade a guy for a guy. Dark's guys are forfeit +2 with the objective, so he may have to peel a few. Yeah, 7 power difference. She covers 6, he covers 7, so he loses 1 in Zam and chooses to peek with her and take a Twi'lek advisor into hand, presumably, since he lost the pit, presumably to download a leader here. I think you're going to have to, I would say, eat the bunker blow if he had the Senate shield, but otherwise that's so bad. He plays Proxima, and he plays that before scum, because otherwise Light has 5 saved and could pay 4 to cancel the scum. So he makes sure Light does not control that. No escapes for Zam. Zam is not a key character usually, so. But he wants to take the audience chamber. I think he's just going to throw a bunch of aliens at it. And Leia will kill one. Is he going to grab Mara, I'm guessing? Yeah, so he uses Jabba's Haven to grab EPP Mara back, and she's going to come clear out the audience chamber. Yeah, we saw a home one in there. That was the space I was talking about earlier. There's a fallen portal in there. That's good to know as a dark side player. You got to watch out your battles there at the back door. So Dark pays and retrieves with scum. Light says impressive, most impressive, so they can take the first action. I guess they're worried about Mara hitting and then sorry about the messing Leia. Or dark striking Leia. I assume you go for Proxima here so she can't grab more aliens and doesn't add the second destiny, but after the impressive, most impressive, Dark plays ceasefire and just says, all right, no weapons. Light adds a second destiny rather than capping Dark, which is weird because if they cap Dark, they might only lose Elors, but now they'll probably lose both. All right, so we took a weird route to get here, but we are at a probably not uncommon situation you would expect from this matchup in terms of Dark has the audience chamber stacked. Ooh, he loses Leia and keeps Elors rather than losing both. Leia dying means Zam pings for 2. And Light has the bunker stacked. Dark has the audience chamber stacked. It's obviously a little weird that the opponent each only has 1 dude in each. Dark can gick. With Dark holding 2 gicks, they can just kind of stall there at the bunker, stall that blow by having 1 dude, losing him, gick, play another dude, lose him, gick, especially if you can retrieve the gick. And all right, so ooh, this is saucy. Wait, why? Oh, I guess he knew his destinies. Maybe they were all high. Oh no, he tracked that where you were you looking for me last? He played it last turn. So he knew he could bounce Mara back to hand if Destiny +1 greater than defense value. She's a 5, so he drew a 5 +1. So she bounces, and suddenly he goes from 2 Destinies, power 7 in a swing, to power 2 in 1 Destiny. So that was good. Crix is going to add an extra Destiny. Oh no, I guess he assumed. I think he verified, and I think he just realized my Destinies will bounce either one or will miss either one, and so decided to go for Mara of the 2. But drawing 1/1 is probably disappointing. And now Ellers will probably die. And Proxima will die. So it's back and forth right here. Light has a lot better board position, but and they cancel Scum again. And then they battle and they'll kill. Cad Bane will trade for probably Delvar, but Sabine will ping for 2 because she's with 2 rebels. So Dark, so she's a disincentive to do this Gick stall plan, but especially though if you are shield busted, that placing your hand in use is just too brutal to handle. So he loses a Luke, which is really weird because there's no cards in hand, so it's not like he had an extra Luke that he's gonna play. Was it a 5 Destiny or something? He drew a Projected Telepathy as a 3. I don't know why you wouldn't lose this guy instead of Luke, but he did. Dark still has 23 in their life force. Light has 17, and Dark has 6 in hand. So Dark's at 29 hand in life to 18. They're up by 11 cards. They don't have Scum out, but Light's just bleeding through stuff. They're sort of the weirdest thing about this is there's no space out yet. That Dark hasn't really had the opportunity to drop out a ship and start doing some ping space drains. So Dark battles. Does his gun cost 1 to fire? I think it does. Oh, it costs 2 to fire. A lot of times you put that gun on Sabine because she makes it fire free and she adds 2 to the total. So you get free fire at Destiny +3 greater than their defense value to bounce them back to hand. It's really good on her, but obviously she was already over there, so he put it on him. He can't afford to fire it. Forlum cancels Crix's tech, so no extra Destiny. Mara swings at Kraken and hits. So we're probably looking at trading those 2 light characters for Duro, maybe Duro and Forlom if Light draws high. So Dark has Audience Chamber. Light's going to try and blow the bunker here. Yep. So just Duro is lost and Light loses their 2 characters. Light only has 1 card in hand though. They really need... they drew low that battle. Oh, Dark did have another shield pull, so it's a moot point. Light drew a Fallen Portal, so that wouldn't even be enough to blow. Right now with an explosive charge, he needs a 6 because you need greater than 12. And you add 3 per explosive charge, and you draw 2 Destiny. Oh, so he'd need greater than 12. The explosive charge makes it greater than 9, so he'd need a 5, or he'd need a 10 between his 2 Destinies, 5/5 or 6/4. And drawing that 4 for Destiny, he'd need another 6 to go with it to blow it. Which is possible, but now that Dark Coward's going to stop the retrieval, Senate Shield's going to stop the hand dump. There's no decree, so Dark will have to lose 8. But he draws a 2 and a 5, or 2 and a 4, which is not enough. He needed 10 and he totaled 6. Home 1 comes out for a lot of force, and then he loses 1 to the court objective. Dark checks her Destiny. Looks like Dark's gonna go into attack mode. I don't know that they will actually attack, but just block the site so that all Light can do is drain one at the system, and Dark will draw a few. Dark's kind of running out of characters. Interestingly, when we saw that reserve verify, there wasn't a lot in there, and yeah, I mean, maybe in the force they used, but it feels like Dark has been losing a lot of guys and has a lot of red left. And that's similar to Light, I guess. They've both been trading a lot of characters. Light loses one to that court. That court ping's gonna really add up. And Light draws a 4. Dark's gonna need at least a 3 to not lose 2 to Sabine. And they draw 5. So yeah, they're not losing to Sabine. They add 1 to make it a 6, which doesn't do anything because you're already killing either Sabine or Crix. Because he only covers 4, so I don't know why you add 1 there. I would save that for future battle. Yeah. Well. Oh, and then Light had to move away. So now Light's pretty much giving up unless they just drew a bunch of characters and they can go back in. But Dark's gonna. I mean, if I'm Dark, I'm paying to drain 1 and 1 here. Can you drain here? Yeah. I guess. There's nothing stopping a drain here, right? Normally, I think Light has no icon on the non-view one. So, yeah, I think I would be paying to drain 1 and 1. Oh, well, Dengar, yeah. Dengar's going to make it so that there's no immunity there. I mean, oh, he didn't battle. I think that's a mistake. I think I would have dropped her on a ship for fodder and battled, because then Light can't add any forfeit fodder on there. The home one just dies this battle. No matter what you draw, home one dies, and that's huge for Coward and you drop Chelly on Ellison Hinthra. So if he draws a 5 or less, you lose Dengar. If he draws a 3 or less, you lose Chelly. And if he draws a 6, you lose Ellis and Chelly, but you still have a ship and figure there's no ship he can come back with. Walkling's already burned. Like, I think I would have dropped Chelly and battled. But once Dengar's out, I mean, there's not a lot home one can do. It can shuttle up guys, but what is it doing? It can only drain for 1 on its front side. Drains are capped at 1 on indoor. So Light's just losing to the court objective. Once Dark starts draining, they're just... Yep, there goes another to court objective. Now that Dark is in space, still drain free. He shuttles up Crix, who is 4'6", but now he's just left with... Can't even draw a Destiny on the ground. Dark can just go Jabba, like... I don't know. I think this game... Dark sees a couple ships in there. They can pull Zuckuss, and Light now gets no battle Destiny, or their Destiny equals 0. Barrier comes down, but Dark has a Canceller. Oh, Joker in the chat says Dengar was barrier. That's why he didn't battle. Sorry, I missed that. It's so Stinger will kill Crix, and Light's Destiny is 0. Nothing will die for Dark. It'll be Crix and 1. I don't know why you even leave the home 1 though. You're not getting past Zuckuss. I mean, maybe you just drew an ability 3 or 4 pilot, but yeah, I think Light should just draw up or concede. Oh, they drop Akbar. That'll give them 2 Destiny, but Akbar's just gonna die in the first battle they fight. Oh, he throws up the fodder some more. I don't know what his game plan is here, because right now he's losing one of the court objective. Dark can drain 1 and 1 and is happy to sit here and just throw forfeit fodder on. Yeah, okay. So he goes ahead and concedes. He's realized he can't take the bunker. That was a really strange game. It wasn't what I would expect from this, and maybe that's because I think Dylan's been playing Rebel Strike Team a lot in the last 6 months, and maybe he just knows this is not a good match for him. I don't know why I feel like you could add Guts because you're pulling solo anyway, but then do you start that over Walkling? Like, doesn't give you a great feeling. I don't know. Maybe he just knows Court is a bad match, so he was like, well, I'm just going to do some weird stuff, like Leia and Luke into the audience chamber and Crix and guy with Blaster and just like try and take that over. But he did stack over here. I mean, he did do his normal Crix solo stuff, but Mara just clearing that early, set Light really far back. And then Light being able to clear this. Leia's gun was big. Light had some answers with the perimeter scan and stuff like that that kept them in it for a while. But they just couldn't do much. I think, yeah, it's hard to get a Jedi presence beat down through multiple Gix. So it's just a tough match for Dark. And like I said, that card just wins space for you. And yeah, I mean, yeah, it was interesting. Cool. Thanks for sharing that replay. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It's kind of a disappointing game with Justin and Matt earlier, but two interesting replays. So thanks for watching, everybody.